So, have you ever felt that soul crushing exhaustion at the end of your workday? If you ever feel like, oh, it's because, my boss or this is just not the job for me, it's actually likely because you're just not using the right skills for you in the right way. So, today I want to talk about how that's fixable so you can walk away with some real tools to be able to feel energized at work.
I'm Rebecca,
I'm Sophie.
and together we have a combined over 16 years of professional career coaching experience, helping people get clarity on what it is they want to do so they can make their ideal career a reality.
Okay, so today we'll talk about that hidden reason why exhaustion is hitting you so hard at work and what to do about it. Rebecca, have you ever been exhausted at the end of your workday more so than you normally really want to be because you were using the wrong skills for you?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you tell me more?
Yes. The first thing that comes to mind is when I was facilitating workshops. I used to go to elementary schools and facilitate workshops on climate change for kids, which working with kids is something I can be good at, but is so draining for me. And also facilitating workshops all day long. I am an introvert. I am also good at facilitating, but doing it all day long was so draining.
Such a good way to recognize that, introvert, extroverts, we're going to have different skill sets. And such a good example. Facilitation is not a bad skill. It's just not the one for you. And knowing Rebecca, she has so many skills that she doesn't need to be able to facilitate. She's got a lot of other stuff going on. So I'll talk more just about what you can do. But first, I just want to share a little bit of research with you. So I found that Gallup reported that you are 57% less likely to burn out when you do use your core strengths, which is a pretty significant number. And I want to talk a little bit more about maybe how to just give yourself a quick test to see if you're burning yourself out unnecessarily. Before I give you that little quiz, I want to ask Rebecca, do you have any examples of a client, you could even use yourself, of people who were getting burnt out because they were not using their strengths? I know you used your example. Ideally, do you have anyone that you've worked with that comes to mind?
Yeah, I actually just finished working with a client. She works as a program manager. She was getting all the things in her career that she thought she wanted. So she worked at well-known companies that you've heard of and made good money and was still finding she was exhausted, missing the mark, not having time for her daughter or energy for her daughter and all these things. And she was using a lot of her strengths, but there were just a few that were misaligned. Like she was spending too much time doing coordination tasks and not enough creative problem solving. So going forward, she's really looking to make these shifts into more of her strengths in her career and realizing she didn't need a total career change and overhaul. She's going to stick within program management, but hopefully using more of these skills and strengths that energize her.
Yeah, when we're exhausted, just be aware that we tend to want to ricochet and totally flip and think that we need to change everything. But sometimes it's really just talking to your boss and saying, can I do more of this and less of this? And if you're your own boss, talking to yourself and trying to do that for yourself. Sometimes that's harder than just asking a boss to do it. So basically, not all work has to be draining, just the work that doesn't align with your natural strengths. In order to give you that little nifty quiz, there are 3 categories of skills that I want to walk you through. The first one are trained skills. So think of this as the red zone of energy, meaning you don't want to spend a lot of time here. It's going to put a lot of mental load on you because these are all skills that you have to learn and take a lot of time and energy to learn. So a really good example, public speaking for a lot of different types of introverts. And then it would be spreadsheets for someone who just wants to work with people directly as much as possible, maybe like an extroverted person. Okay. So that was the first category of skills. The second category of skills is called default skills. So these are things that you do automatically, but you don't necessarily enjoy. So maybe you notice that at work, you tend to be the problem solver. People come to you to fix a thing, but it doesn't necessarily give you energy or joy. You might fall into habitual roles no matter where you go. That might just be a sign that you're in the yellow zone. So it doesn't necessarily mean that anything's wrong, but you're going to want to be able to put some boundaries around that yellow zone or it's going to start exhausting you. What do you think, Rebecca?
So I'm kind of wondering maybe facilitation for me would fall more in that zone of setting boundaries around it, but I do still find it energizing, but in small doses.
I want to talk about the green zone, the energizing skill. So off the top of your head, Rebecca, do you have an energizing skill?
Writing.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
I like writing about, it's how I process thoughts and ideas. So specifically writing ideas or reformulating other things that I've learned to make it useful for someone else. I can get caught in the zone writing for like a blog or an email newsletter, and I won't notice time going by.
What a great way to describe it. Okay, finally, the quick quiz that I want to walk you through so that you can understand where you are in all of this. So this is going to take like 20 seconds or something. Maybe even close your eyes. So think about the last work day and what task you put off the longest. What's even one task that might still be on the chopping block, has been, if you have a planner, you keep moving it to the next week. I'm calling myself out there. So just take note of that. Okay, so now that you wrote that down so that you can remember it. Close your eyes again or do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Think about the same work day, if possible, and take note of what did you do, what task actually just flew by, and you maybe even realized you need to stop doing it so that you can get to the thing you keep putting off. Take note of that. That would be really helpful. That would be you in the green zone. That would be an energizing skill. So you want to maximize those things as much as possible. Of course, sometimes we have to oscillate back and forth, but we want to optimize our work as much as possible, increasing that percentage of our green zone skills. What do you think? Would anything come up for you that you wanted to share?
I was just laughing at the stuff that I've been carrying over on my to-do list for more than a week. Let's just say it. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, fair. Rebecca, I just want to end our conversation on asking you your key insights from our conversation, and then any learnings that you want to walk away with and take action on, even if it's like super small.
My key takeaway is the distinction between the red, yellow, and green zone skills. That's not something that I've thought about before. And you know what? I'm feeling inspired to just reflect back on how I'm spending my time a little bit more and what's energizing me the most, because I think it's about time for me to do that. And I could really actually rejig some things in my work to improve my day to day.
Awesome. Well, maybe I'll ask for a little update next time we talk about that on or off video. Just remember, if you're exhausted at work and you're not liking things, it doesn't mean you're broken or even your job's broken. Nothing has to be broken. It could just mean that you need to reflect on what zone you are working in primarily and how to shift more to the yellow and green zone, the default and ideally the energizing skills that you have that are uniquely yours.
Thanks so much, Sophie.
Yeah, thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if this video did something for you, and share it with someone else as a gift, and we'll see you next time. Bye.